My name is Brian Hoffmeister, and I am the lead pastor of a NewThing church. We are in the greater Milwaukee area. We planted Lake Point Church in the fall of 2012. This isn't the first time I had tried planting a church. I had done this prior in 2005, but I was really on an island all by myself. No sending church, no network, and although God really had some neat things come out of that effort, we did not end up with a healthy, sustainable church as a result. So I backed out of that. I went back to being an associate pastor and ended up at the Exponential Conference. And this crazy guy named Dave Ferguson keeps getting up there year after year, turning cartwheels over this idea of church planting. And it was getting me excited, and the church that I was a part of excited. And next thing you know, Brook Life Church in McGuanago, where I was a pastor at that time, we joined a local NewThing hub in Milwaukee. After one of these many gatherings in which we were spending time with NewThing, I distinctly remember turning to Jason Webb, the lead pastor I was working with, and I asked him, when are we going to plant a new church in Milwaukee? It's about time that we really take a lead on something like this. What I was not prepared for was for him to turn around just 1 week later and say, yes, we are ready to plant a church, and I think you're ready to be our church planter, and we want the church plant to be in your hometown. You have 2 weeks to decide. And after those 2 weeks, we said yes. And that's how Lake Point Church was born. So we did plant Lake Point Church, specifically in the city of Muskego, and we quickly became known as the Green Church. We wore these green t-shirts whenever we were out and involved and serving in the community. But I don't think it was the shirts that really stuck out to them. It was the lifestyle. We lived by love, and we lived the way Jesus lived. And I could really say that someone did not have to come to one of our church services to know who God was. We brought the good news of God out to them in their everyday life, in their everyday relationships. And that's really what our church is all about. As a result, we've seen a number of people put their faith in Jesus for the first time, and that's what we're living for. Business professionals who had everything put together until they ran to Jesus and are now humbly bowing before Him. Soccer moms and dads who are tired of maintaining the middle-class suburban lifestyle and want a bigger purpose than that. I had the privilege of baptizing a 70-year-old woman. I mean, just how amazing is that a brand new church is influencing someone who has 7 decades in this life already? One gal we baptized, she was practicing witchcraft just a month before we baptized her. And then I think of another guy who is a construction worker who's still around town. No one believes he is actually in a church, let alone baptized and following Jesus. I think it's important to understand that I would not have planted this second church without NewThing. And it's really the reason that my second church plant is working and the first one didn't, is I have a support network. When Jason Webb looked me in the eye and said, you are a church planter and you need to do it again, that was a big step. When I received essentially a residency in preparation for that, alongside him and others who had planted churches, that was the step I needed. Or just this ongoing care base I have, or whenever our church is facing a big turn, I've got a handful of pastors getting on the phone with me, telling me how they did it when they were there. Put on top of that all the NewThing resources and the trainings and just this ongoing encouragement to continue the vision of church planting of the kingdom of God. This is what the network is doing for me, and I wouldn't be here without it. Our story is just one of the many at NewThing. These stories of church plants are happening here in this country and all across the world as well. So thank you for supporting NewThing. It's through your generosity that you're helping thousands of people find their way back to God.